Tussen Austin, Texas en de prestigieuze Ronde van Frankrijk ligt een directe lijn. Lance Armstrong, 6 jaar achtereen winnaar van de Tour, komt uit Texas. Hij werkt vanuit die staat, traint er en vindt er zijn rust. De koppige, eigen gerijde dertiger, trots en zelfverzekerd, werd in 2004 de eerste wielrenner die 6 maal de ronde won. En dat in een jaar dat critici hem bijna begonnen af te schrijven. Hij reed een matige Dauphiné en leek afgeschreven.
Oh, I don't think they slowly started to think that. I think they immediately said that. I disagree with that. I think they didn't start to think, well, maybe. And there were many people that just said, he's too old now. Done. He barely made. I mean, you could see the trend because in 2002, I was. Ulrich wasn't there. I was not as dominant over Boloki as I had been in other years. It was closer with regards to Boloki. And then you saw 2003 when Boloki dropped out. But before that, he looked to be narrowing this gap. And so they just start to, they start to do the math. And you're getting here, and they think, okay, next year it's going to be like this, and we're going to see a guy that's truly over the hill.
Yeah, but the Europeans said, we're going to get him.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That makes for good.
Do you like that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to read those things for me. I mean, it makes me mad, but at the same time, those
mad?
Well, nobody likes to read that they're finished, that they're done, or that we lose Hera. So all these things. I mean, you have a close call in the Tour de France. You're over the hill. You're old. You're not improving. The other guys are getting better. Ulrich is back. He goes back to Telecom. You lose Heras. All these bullshit things that make up, supposedly make up a great story, and every one of them, you're just hitting save on your computer, like save to the hard drive. And then
you must have had a very hard drive this year.
Yeah, the hard drive was exploding with motivation, I should say.
Is that motivation or revenge?
No, motivation. I'm not a big revenge guy.
But you look like an elephant. You remember everything.
That's what
you remember everything.
That's what my mom, when I grew up, my mom always said I had the mind of an elephant.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that mean? She says you can remember everything.
Armstrong groeide op met typische Amerikaanse sporten als voetbal, honkbal en basketbal, maar vond pas plezier in de relatief onbekende sport die triathlon heet. Van die 3 onderdelen werd fietsen zijn passie. In Barcelona vertegenwoordigde hij de Verenigde Staten in de wegwedstrijd. Hij was actief, maar viel buiten de prijzen.
Gazeltelli haalt het. Gazeltelli goud. En Erik Dekker zilver. En brons is voor Oostels.
Bij de geklopte laat hij zich rustig uitbollen. Hij wordt 14e, naamloos en teleurgesteld. Hij dringt ook verder niet meer aan. Hij tekent een profcontract en een week later rijdt hij al in San Sebastian. Je herkent hier wel de echte Armstrong. Dit is hem een week later. En dan gaan we naar Oslo, WK.
Kijk eens dat gebaar. Thank you. Thank you. Lance Armstrong, 21 jaar. En hij heeft veel theater in huis. En dat mag hij van mij. Want hier heeft de wielerwereld voor de toekomst heeft wat aan. Yes! Wat een wereldkampioen. Een mooi moment hier voor de sport.
Armstrong heeft zijn eerste handtekening in de wielrennerij gezet, maar blijft een relatieve buitenstaander. Texas is zo ver weg van de conservatieve Europese wielerwereld. Hier, ver weg van de Koppenberg, de Obisque en de Poggio, legt hij de basis voor de komende successen. In die dagen is hij echter al wel een baasje.
I realized that I can't have everything my way. I have to sort of be a little more laid back and.
But what is the soft part of Lance Armstrong?
I don't know.
Austin, music?
Girls, no. Yeah, I mean, I can be very soft here, very laid back. Because it's a laid back place for me. I don't have any pressures here. None at all.
What does Austin mean to you?
Nobody cares about cycling here, so.
Do they know you?
Het bewijs daarvoor?
170.
You know who this guy is?
I sure don't know.
You know what this means? All the colors on his shirt?
that? I don't.
No?
I don't know. Is he famous?
He's the world champion.
Is he? I don't watch running. I don't remember.
It's not running, it's
Or
bicycle.
bicycling.
I'm gonna stick to the one days, I think. I really want to win a classic.
Which one?
I don't know.
You know them?
Yeah?
You know the Ronde van Vlaanderen?
Yeah? I did it. I didn't finish, but I did most of it.
You know Parijs-Roubaix?
No. I don't want to do Paris-Roubaix.
That kills your butt.
Yeah, it's too hard for me.
Can you push yourself to the limit?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Die eigenschap in gesublimeerde vorm kennen we van hem. Zo heeft hij naam gemaakt en is toerheld geworden. Zijn tour. Maar komt hij daarin terug?
That's why I don't want to go back.
No?
I don't think so.
Period?
I don't know. I don't know which realization is greater. Do I not want to go back, or do I want to do other things? And there are other things that I want to do in cycling.
Like what?
I mean, if I could win the Tour of Flanders,
You can.
I think I can. That would be unbelievable.
Hopefully, it's a cold and rainy day.
Oh, just as shittiest day as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Or even this freaking Amstel Gold Race, this race with 300 million turns and, you know.
You can do that as well.
I can do that as well, probably, yeah.
Liège, you can do.
Could do that too, Flesh again, but, you know, who knows, maybe even Roubaix, I don't know.
But is there an urgent need to prove yourself in those races?
Well, I'm not around long, so, yeah, it's urgent.
Is that in your mind now?
Yeah.
You think about it?
Yeah.
But there is also, for example, the Vuelta and
No.
the Giro d'Italia.
No.
And they are longing for having you there.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a long time.
Too bad?
No way.
No?
I'm not, no. I cannot do the Giro because they're trying to prosecute me for sports fraud because I simply chased down a rider in a race. So, I'm not gonna go present myself in that country and give them the photo opportunity that they're dying for.
That was not in my mind. This is how sick this world becomes.
Oh, that's crazy. But it's a very political climate there. I mean, you know.
And Spain, you live in Spain?
Spain, no, Spain's fine. Problem with Spain is the I don't know. I mean, the Vuelta. I've done it before. I do think the Giro is bigger than the Vuelta. I mean, I think it's the Tour, the Giro, the Vuelta. I do.
I disagree.
Okay, well,
I said Spain is harder to do.
we can
because
agree
it's
to
later
disagree.
in the season.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
The classic days, in terms of the people,
Yeah.
the emotion, the intensity on the roadside, the big days, you know, the big days on Mortirolo versus Angliru, the Giro is bigger.
Winning the Tour of Flanders.
That would be big.
275 kilometers.
Yeah.
Bad weather.
Bad,
Cobblestones.
yeah.
Tough race.
Tough.
Yeah.
Classic.
You're longing for that?
I am. I can't lie, man. I think that would be cool.
And then you prove to all those critics in Europe
That won't do it though. I'm not doing it to prove to the cycling historians that I did it. Because that won't do it. Because you know what they say then? They say, yeah, you did it, but you did it in a different year and you didn't do the Tour. They'll say Merckx did, you know, he won Flanders, Liège, and the Tour, and the Giro, then the Tour, and then the Worlds. That's what they'll say. So I can never do that. Nobody will ever do that again.
But do we have to compare you with Merckx and Indurain?
Well, I mean, you know, that's what, I mean, inevitably.
You are what you are.
Exactly. So for me, it's fine. Listen, and that's the thing is that, Martin, when I come home, I mean, if you think I sit around my hometown and worry about, you know, what he said over there or what book is written, I mean, now, that's the beauty. Is that I'm here at home, chilling out, relaxing. I've got my kids. I'm just, you know, I'm the one with the last laugh, as we say.
For 6 years already in a row.
No, but
you,
now,
you
but
proved
now,
that
truly,
in France, yeah.
right. And so now, but I feel differently about my career and my sport now than I did 12 months ago. To me, it's different.
Why is that? Because you
Because-
found love again?
No, because
Does it have to do with it?
No, well, I mean, that has to do with, you know, your life and how happy you are in your life.
Are you happy?
On a daily, yeah. But the point is that I invested a lot of time and energy and motivation into winning 6 tours. That was a big deal to me, and now I've done it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't talk about it. I mean, I gave this bullshit response like, you know, you know, all I'm focusing on is this tour. I don't keep the total. I don't know if it's 4 or 5 or 6. Of course I knew. Come on, of course I knew. That was a big deal to me, so now I've done it.
Okay, and then you have done it, and then what else is there to do?
Well,
Be happy.
Win the Tour of Flanders would be cool. Break the hour record. There's a lot of other things.
That's nice, the hour record.
Yeah, maybe the World Championships again.
Deel 1 van zijn wielerleven begint dus op een podium in Oslo. Hij is een jong en onstuimig kampioen. In Verdun heeft hij dan al zijn eerste Tour de France-etappe gewonnen.
You're still a rookie.
Yeah, but I feel good. I mean, every day my legs, I keep trying and looking for my opportunities, and I feel good. And I'm honest with you when I say I felt like I was capable of winning a stage.
In 1995 wint hij zijn tweede Tour-etappe met gebaren richting hemel, waar hij zijn overleden ploeggenoot Fabio Casartelli weet. En ook in klassieke wedstrijden heerst hij. Dit is de Waalse Pijl 1996. De grote doorbraak lijkt aanstaande. Hij wordt kampioen. Dan wordt het donker. Ineens en onaangekondigd.
On Wednesday, October 2nd, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Prior to seeing my doctor last week, I had been experiencing swelling and pain in one of my testicles, and I coughed up some blood. On Thursday, October the 3rd, I underwent surgery at St. David's Hospital here in Austin to have the malignant testicle removed, and the surgery was successful. A CAT scan was also performed the same day. The CAT scan revealed that my condition has spread into my abdomen. In terms of degrees of the disease, my condition is considered to be between moderate and advanced. And thus yesterday I began my first day of chemotherapy treatment. I will undergo chemotherapy for at least 12 weeks, and then depending on how I respond to the treatment, I may have to undergo more chemotherapy and other procedures to fight this disease. I have the utmost faith in all of my doctors with whom I'm working, and I am determined to fight this disease, and I will win.
Lance Armstrong is 25 jaar oud en de beroemdste sportieve kankerpatiënt ter wereld. Sport en kanker. Nee, dat gaat niet samen. Dat botst. Maar hij heeft getekend bij Cofidis in Frankrijk. Kan hij daar nog presteren?
They said the whole time, well, it's not so good, it's going bad, then my motivation wouldn't have been as much.
De Fransen laten hem echter vallen en we zien hem weer terug in het shirt van US Postal. Na 518 dagen inactiviteit rijdt hij weer en wordt hij vanaf 1999 een vaste klant van de Ronde van Frankrijk. Hij is geestelijk sterker en met een ander lichaam kon hij bewijzen dat hij een echte winnaar is geworden. In zijn tweede wielerleven is hij kopman en hij is de leider. Hij kiest een speciale voorbereiding en hij zet alles op de Tour.
Me and the team invest so much time into the Tour de France and so much energy that you feel like stopping, or you feel like getting away from cycling after that. And our sport, for better or for worse, has created a monster when it created the Tour de France, because it's so big and it's so important that it's all that matters.
En zo wordt hij in al die jaren een grote vedette in de sportwereld. Hij wint, hij wordt een ster, hij wordt rijk, hij wordt beroemd en hij wordt beschreven. Ook op een zeer negatieve manier.
I'll say one thing about the book, and especially since our esteemed author is here. In my view, I think extraordinary accusations must be followed up with extraordinary proof. And Mr. Walsh and Mr. Ballester have worked 4 or 5 years, and they have not come up with extraordinary proof. I'm not done. The case is now incredibly complicated and will be a long one. I have engaged lawyers in both France and England. I will spend whatever it takes, however long it takes, to bring justice to the case.
Dat was in juli 2004. Wat zegt Armstrong nu?
The authors admitted the book was shitty.
Did it sell?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Did you read it? Did you see it?
No, it's in French. I can't read French. So that, I mean, it's in one language. It's not, I mean,
But it pissed you off.
The
authors,
authors,
first days of the tour, it pissed you off.
It's one of those things. Save.
Okay.
Goes into the hard drive.
Okay.
It clearly was the motivation and the timing of the book was too obvious. It's like, let's put this thing out just before the guy is trying to make history. And let's put it out at a time when the frenzy is huge and we'll make a bunch of money. It's obvious that they tried to piggyback on what was going on.
But
so
it was surprising that the French didn't pick it up. In my
French who?
opinion. People in the street. People who watch cycling.
Yeah, I 22 days on the road in France. I saw one sign about it.
Yeah.
One sign, you know.
Were you cursed at?
Well, I'm always cursed at.
But in a heavy way?
No, not any more than normal.
Can you stand that?
Hmm?
Can you stand that?
Yeah,
If somebody calls you, I don't know what they call you.
Yeah.
You hear it, I don't hear it.
Yeah.
What they call you?
Same, they haven't changed their...
The vocabulary.
Yeah, it's the same.
But what they call you then?
You know, doper, tricheur, you know.
Tricheur.
Yeah. Even a PD. I mean, they say all the same shit. It's not original. So, but they've said that since 2000. So, anyways, listen, you're talking about 20% of the crowd. So there are an awful lot of other people.
In the midst of this Tour de France, it turned out that you really were good. Were you?
I felt good. You know, I tell you, I felt good, but the other guys that were supposed to be good weren't good.
Yes.
Everybody saw that. All the people we talked about, all the people that
where
you guys wrote about.
Where was
yeah, with your prediction of Tyler Hamilton.
Okay.
Holland, this man predicted, one of the most legendary cycling commentators in the world, you predicted Tyler Hamilton was going to win the Tour.
And I also predicted that you were not to finish the Tour, because I foresaw that it would be a riot in France. And I foresaw that the whole Tour de France would explode like it was in '98. And I felt
Ladies and
sorry.
gentlemen,
Yes.
Mart Smeets was wrong several times. Not just once, but several times.
Several times. You're absolutely out of your mind. What, godverdorie?
He was wrong.
I was wrong. You did a great job.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
And the Tour de France was saved.
We gaan naar de Tour van 2004. In de 17e etappe zien we een staaltje Armstrong wielrennen dat tot denken stemt. De Texaan haalt op het allerlaatste moment de Duitser Andreas Kleuden terug. Hoe zit het met het machtsevenwicht in het peloton? Wie is daar de baas? Wie wint? Wie mag winnen en wie laat winnen? Hoe zit het precies, Lens?
The true champions, the legends, man, they have an uncanny ability to remember things and to keep the score in many ways in their mind. Okay, you there, all right, you, and then you.
You did this.
Next time, next time I see you, and maybe that sounds like revenge, but when you're there, it's not about, hey, I'm gonna screw that guy, I'm gonna screw that guy. It's all about, hey, I want to win. So that's a difference in like messing, screwing somebody over versus winning for yourself. It's,
Is winning the only thing that counts for you?
Well, depends in what regard, what discipline you're talking about. In cycling, in the Tour de France, winning for me is the only thing that matters.
Can you give away stages?
In the Tour?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Why didn't you give Kleuden his victory?
Well, no, that's a different story. I got into the Tour, and then I just didn't feel like giving away anything. There were too many reasons to win. And plus, you have to consider that you're there with 5 guys, and it's a sprint, and it's different than being with one other guy and giving one away or letting him win. I mean,
but was it personal?
No. Towards Kleuden?
No.
I have nothing towards Kleuden at all. Nothing. No personal feelings, no hard feelings. Absolutely not. In fact, the next day, I went straight to him, and I said, I'm really sorry about that. He said, don't worry about it. No big deal. I said, shit, no big deal? You just lost a stage in the Tour de France. No big deal. There's 180 guys out here that would kill for that victory in that stage. That is a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Oh, it's a big deal. I mean, I remember when I won my first stage in the Tour de France.
I do.
I thought I was done, man. I thought that's the greatest thing that could ever happen. So it's a big deal. But nothing personal towards him and nothing personal towards Jan or that team. Just wrapped up in the emotion of daily competition. It was a crazy 5 days. I was truly clicking.
Dan maar naar de etappe die naar La Mongie leidt. We zien een andere Armstrong. Hij volgt de Italiaan Ivan Basso en dringt nooit aan. De man die anders altijd wil winnen, kan dus ook verliezen. Kon die dag niet beter? Of, hoe zat het?
He was better than me that day. He was.
Are you sincere?
I am, swear on my life. He was, number one, I attacked. He immediately followed. When he was, listen, it was just two of us. When I would pull and he would pull, I mean, there were many times where I thought, God, will he just slow down? You know, because he was pulling and I'm trying to, and I was suffering on the wheel. And I don't know if it was because it's the first day in the mountains and those are always rough for me, or if it was La Mongie, which is a climb that I despise. But I was sorry. He deserved to win that day. I mean, when we started sprinting, I couldn't go much faster.
There was a story that you were close to him because of his mother having cancer. You talked to him. Does friendship exist in the Tour?
Yeah.
How deep does that go?
Huh?
How deep does that go?
Well, I mean, it depends. Depends who it is. I mean, I don't know Basso that well. Two different countries, two different nationalities, two different sets of customs,
you ever
different
talk
languages. Yeah. I mean, he speaks a bit of English now because of CSC, they speak English. But
and you helped him out with some things
I tried to help with his mom as much as I could because having lived with this illness for 8 years, I've met people all around the world. So that's people not just here in the U.S., but people in Italy. So I directed him or helped direct his mom to a great center in Milan. And, you know, she's still alive, still fighting. And
you feel that as an obligation to do that?
You know, it's funny. I mean, Basso, I care deeply for. I think he's a great kid. I mean, I really like the guy. Everybody likes him. You can't like him. I mean, you can't not like him. But even if there was the biggest jerk in the peloton, he came to me and he needed me to help him or his mother or his loved one or whatever. Even if Simeone came to me.
Hey, you mentioned the name.
Yeah. If he came to me and said, man, my uncle has lung cancer and we don't know what to do. You know what? That night, I'd spend 3 hours on it that night. This, to me, that's a whole nother thing. This, you know, sport and rivalry and all this BS, great. But when you start talking about something like that and it's talking about somebody's life, you know, and all the lives around them that are affected, man, that's easy. I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
De affaire Simeoni dan maar. Armstrong haalt de Italiaan als het ware terug uit een kleine kopgroep. De meester wil dus niet dat iemand die kritiek op hem heeft gehad vooraan komt te rijden. De meeste renners in het peloton houden hun mond. Je tegen Armstrong opstellen vergt durf en dus staat Simeoni vrij alleen. Wat wilde de Italiaan eigenlijk?
Sì, volevo scendere dalla bicicletta e volevo smettere di correre in bicicletta. Però devo ringraziare i miei compagni di squadra, Scarponi, sia Chiari, Mori, parole anche di incoraggiamento da parte di Bettini, di commesse che mi hanno fatto capire che se il 90% dei corridori sta con Armstrong, c'è un 10% che sta con me. A me basta.
Wasn't that too much what you did?
Well,
we all could see it.
You know, the thing is...
It was a punishment, was it?
No, I didn't... I was really surprised that nobody followed. I mean, where was Ulrich? Where was Basso? Where was Telecom? Where were they? It wasn't
sitting back.
Yeah, but come on. You don't let the yellow jersey go.
You're in charge.
Yeah, but when I didn't turn around. I assumed that there were 50 guys on my wheel. And then you turn around and you're alone, so...
What did you tell the poor kid?
Nothing. And
not in Italian, not in English?
Well, you know, unfortunately for him, he claims that I, you know, threatened, I think, to kill him, to make him broke, he'd never race again, all of these things, and he describes it in Italian. Well, I can say like 5 words in Italian, you know, ciao, come va, tutto bene, you know, all the bad words, but you can't explain to, I can't explain to somebody in Italian, you know, that you suck and you'll never race again and I'm going to steal all your money, and all of these things that he says I said. I mean, I can't say that. So if you can't verbally say that, then how could that have happened?
You were there. I saw it only on my screen.
Right.
But I take your word for granted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, surely, it shouldn't. I mean, if you had to do it over, you don't do it again. You have the team do it, or
What if he would walk in here right now? Would you talk to him? Or is he an enemy?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Mart, is the problem with that day is it gave him way too much credibility. Simeone does not deserve credibility, does not deserve a platform to talk about the stuff that he wants to talk about. I mean, you've seen a person that's already changed their story 4 or 5 times. So, don't give that person a platform.
Armstrong en de roddeljournalistiek. Er is het gebroken privéleven. In 2004 gaan zijn vrouw en hij uit elkaar en delen ze de tijd voor de 3 kinderen. In 2003 stond zij nog in de winner's circle. Een jaar later is er een ander. Sheryl Crow. En 2 beroemdheden samen, ja, dat vraagt om roddelpers.
That's human nature. I mean, I don't know what the magazines are in Holland, so I can't tell you the names of, but in America we have, Us Weekly, we have People magazine, we have the tabloids. I mean, people read those things. If they have a sensational story on TV, they watch them. It's like, he's dating her and she dumped him and he said that about him. People love that. That's dirt, that's gossip, that's rumor, we love it. It's in our fiber.
I hate it.
Nah, you read it.
No.
Oh, you're a liar. You're a liar.
You call me a liar?
He reads. Yeah, see? But that's the thing. It's like I hate it too, but if one of those if I'm sitting on an airplane and somebody says, here, read this magazine.
Yeah.
Shit, man, you open it up and you're like, huh, check this out. You're like, hey, look at this. That's human nature. So it's easy to write that story. It's easy to say those things. Hey, psst. She said she carried used syringes for him. Let's write it in a book. Of course they're gonna read it.
Ander onderwerp. Armstrong en zijn ploeg. Het lijkt hem bijna geheim, maar is het niet. De Texaan selecteert samen met zijn ploegleider Johan Bruyneel en regeert. Het feest van het samen winnen kon je in 2004 optimaal zien in de ploegentijdrit.
We're all proud about Lance. He's our boss, he's our god.
Baas en God in één man verenigd. Kopman van een succesformule van een succesploeg.
We are an American team, so an American rider is automatically attractive to us, even if he lacks the other disciplines that we need from a European rider. He has the advantage of being American, so chances that he comes here and he's somewhat of a decent cyclist, the chances are good. If it's a European, then we look for guys that are hard workers, very disciplined, team workers, guys who don't seem to ride like individuals in the race, but guys that look like even if they're on a different team, we can see who's fitting well into that team. It's obvious. We all know that in the peloton. And then once you start to dig deeper, you start to talk to their teammates, you start to talk to their friends, you find out what kind of person they are, and then you find the person. I mean, you sign that person. Now, having said that, we've made some mistakes over the years.
But also, you got good ones.
We got good ones.
The Acevedo story is beautiful.
Acevedo's story is I think if we had to select one story for our process, we would use that one. And and you have to consider that story in light of who he came and replaced. Because a year ago now, Roberto expressed an interest in leaving the team. Everybody said, oh, look at that, Roberto's leaving. He's sick of riding for Lance. He's going to win the Tour. He just won the Vuelta. Who are they going to get? And the whole time, Johan was very calm. He made one phone call. First thing that came to his mind was Acevedo. He made one phone call. It was done. And a lot of people said, Acevedo, who's Acevedo? But if you know cycling, you know that he's a damn good rider. And so you see this process go along. You get to the Tour. Voila, fast forward. You're in the Tour. Where's Heras? Where's Acevedo? I mean, for us, that was the poster child for a good acquisition.
To get a place in your team, is that hard?
Probably pretty hard. But
because of?
Well, because we're the best team in the world. So it's
very strict. Was that what you're saying?
It depends on the person. I mean, some people you have to be strict with. Some people you don't have to be strict with. I mean, for example, Acevedo. We're not strict on Acevedo at all. Chechu Rubiera. We're not strict on him at all. You don't need to worry about those guys. You say, okay, guys, here's your bike, here's your clothes, your helmet, here's your racing calendar, and then there's the tour. We want you to be good for the tour.
And that's all?
And you go ahead and do that. Oh, that's all you do.
Come on.
Yeah, these guys are highly intelligent, incredibly responsible, true professionals. It just works.
Do they understand you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chechu I've been with for a long time.
So he speaks English?
Chechu speaks English, but so does Acevedo. Acevedo speaks English too, so. Smart guys.
Yeah. You need smart guys to win the tour?
Yeah. I mean, we've won some tours with some not so smart guys, but.
Yeah. How smart do you have to be to win a tour? No, let me get back.
It depends, it depends how smart the other 8 are. If they're smart, then I don't have to be smart. I can just be
dumb. Then you just have to pedal.
Just pedal.
In 2004 werd pijnlijk duidelijk hoe doping een vaste plaats in het topwielrennen had verkregen. Er was de affaire Cofidis met wereldkampioen Miller. De Zwitser Kamenzien werd gepakt en gaf toe. Hij was het liegen zat. Olympisch kampioen tijdrijden Hamilton knoeide. En ook de schijnbaar onaantastbare Belg Museeuw werd aan de schandpaal gezet.
That's too much, man.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's too much.
It's too much. It's not good.
So, who's going to solve that?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. Who's going to solve it? Not me, because if I had the answer, I would give the answer. And I'm stuck because, as I've said hundreds of times, I'll say it again, I think cycling has done more and is doing more than any other sport, top-level sport. Soccer, tennis, track and field. Who controls the athletes like cycling? Nobody can argue that, right?
Yeah.
Can we agree on that? So, you know, without living with people, you know, creating a buddy system where, like, you have to live with him and he works for WADA or he works for the UCI and he can never leave your side, you know, that would work. But, of course, that will never work.
No.
So, you know, what has to happen is the athletes, and I'm not saying, and I don't want my message to be construed as saying that these guys are guilty. I mean, look, if you test positive and you admit, obviously you're guilty. But there are certain cases that are out there that are not cut and dry. They're still being contested. They're still, whatever. Questionable. But the athletes, meaning us, the cyclists, have to know what this does to not only our job, but our sport, to future generations, to the fans, to the media. Cycling could quite possibly become extinct because of that. So people have to have the minds and the responsibility to say, you know what? It's not worth it. Yeah, the guys want me to win. Yeah, the team wants me to win. Yeah, my fans want me to win. But, you know, when you start, if you're going to take that kind of risk, it's not worth it because you'll kill your sport. You'll kill the thing that you live for and love right now.
Probably kill your body.
And probably kill your body.
Armstrong en doping. De laatste jaren is hij bij voortduring aangevallen. Nooit werd iets strafbaars bij hem gevonden. Het bleef bij aantijgingen en het maakte hem boos. Heel erg boos.
Enough is enough.
Hij sneed de banden met de in opspraak zijnde Italiaanse arts Ferrari snel door. En de vraag is dus, gebruikt hij?
The answer is absolutely not. But, here's the thing. Because we just spoke about what happened 12, 13 years ago. My friend, I've been around way too long. And I have been through every kind of test, every kind of interrogation you've ever imagined. And I was a winner the day I showed up. Well, not the day I showed up, because the day I showed up, I got last. But 2 weeks later, San Sebastian, 1992. But 2 weeks later, man, I was right up there with the best in the world. And you know what? I haven't left. Every year, every month. When I show up in February, I may not be winning the Tour de France in February, but I'm winning. I'm competitive. And that's what...
In everything you do, all right?
No, in cycling. I mean, I'm saying...
No, not only cycling. In everything you do,
in
you're a winner.
all the aspects of cycling. When I show up, I mean, you can see a person you can see a rider that's hot and cold or one that's not hot and cold. I mean, when I'm there, I'm there. There's no inconsistency in my performance. The day I showed up, I was winning. When I show up in the early season, now I'm winning. I don't think a body, man, I think to me that's the ultimate proof. I mean, I think if you're gonna dope, okay, you dope, but you don't do it for 13 years and stay at a high level. I don't think it works that way, and I think we all agree. So the champs and the legends and the heroes are what they are. They are that. They're the biggest engines in the sport.
You're a champ? You're a hero?
I don't know, I mean...
No.
Yeah.
That's a question mark. Are you a champ?
Yeah, I think I could be considered a champion.
Are you a hero?
That's not my job to give that title, but...
Are you a legend?
I'm still racing, so I couldn't be a legend. And even then, I mean, that's the responsibility of the experts and the critics to decide.
Are you a nice guy?
Depends.
On what?
Depends what we're talking about. It depends on the day of the week.
But you can be a tough cookie as well.
For sure, yeah, you gotta be.
Die tough cookie is heel groot in eigen land. Daar ziet men een grootheid in hem. Daar wacht hem een heldenontvangst in een honkbalstadion. Daar loopt men massaal voor hem uit.
Lance, you should feel that you're at home. The people of New York City love you, they admire you.
Presidenten staan aan zijn zijde en willen dat weten ook. Want hij straalt kracht en onoverwinnelijkheid uit. Hij verschijnt in beroemde talkshows en krijgt naar publiciteitszoekende grootheden aan zijn zijde. Hij grapt met ze en hij nodigt ze persoonlijk uit naar Parijs te komen, maar weet dat het einde van zijn carrière eraan zit te komen. Hij moet kiezen, maar heeft hij dat gevoel zelf ook?
Oh yeah, on the horizon.
Where is the horizon?
Well,
years to go?
Huh?
1, 2, 3?
No, I see one.
One great year on the bike.
Yeah.
And then a great au revoir.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah.
That's about it.
A couple years ago, I imagined that I would win. If I could win 6, I would stop. I mean, I had this dream that I would win 6 and show up to that final press conference that you've been to, I don't know how many times, and just say, guys,
that's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you later.
It was an honor to be here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be on the beach if you need me. But, you know, things come along, life changes, and I'm back.
You're back.
Well, for another year.
For another year.
Year by year. I think now it's just year by year. You know, it's let me do this year, focus on a few more things, and I might get to the end of 2005 and say, I'll do another year. You just never know. I'm not going to make any. I'm not ready to stop. I'm not ready to quit. But I think when I am ready, I'll know it and I'll say it.
What else can you do in life? If you stop, what are you going to do then?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be a dad.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
That's a 24-hour job?
Well, when I have them, it is. I'm going to...
But is there something in your mind that you want to go to do? Or you can't
no.
go play golf every day.
No, I don't play golf anymore either, so... I'll continue to advocate for cancer survivors and patients around the world. I'll do that as long as I can.
Lance Armstrong en kanker. De succesvolle wielrenner als groot uithangbord en levend voorbeeld van de survivor.
Let's celebrate the Tour de France. But let's celebrate... That's great, but let's celebrate the survival of cancer.
My son was diagnosed with cancer, brain cancer 4 years ago, and is doing wonderfully well. That's why I brought his picture, because he's actually surviving and doing well enough to be in college, and Lance's story really made a huge difference in our lives.
Well, because you're Europeans.
And that is to say?
It is to say that, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but that charities and nonprofits, and I shouldn't single out certain places, but let's use France as an example. Charities and nonprofits and that type of work that's not for reward, not for profit, not for greed, That type of work is not rewarded. It's not recognized. If you
Not
do
in
that,
Europe. You're correct. in
people.
that.
It's a mentality that I guess we had in the U.S. 40 years ago. But you know what? I mean, for somebody like me, I don't need money. In fact, all I'm going to do with money is give it away. So, for me, the rest of my life, that's my mission. I mean, why would I need to go out and work and make money and be tough about it? I mean, I don't need it anymore.
But still, there is something that you've got to do in life. I mean,
well, of course, but you don't measure success or measure a value of your minute if it only means you made money doing it. If you did it for free, if you volunteered and you said, okay, I'm going to go spend a week doing that or a week doing that, you know, that's just as important, if not more important, than if somebody paid you to do it. So that's why I don't think that people in Europe understand that, yes, the Lance Armstrong Foundation has grown incredibly, 47 full-time employees. You know what? We're going to raise $41 million this year. $41 million bucks. I mean, that's 5 years ago we did about maybe $1 million. I mean, it's astronomical, the growth.
It's just because of what?
Well,
because you proved something.
Well, I think there's
the Americans.
Well, there's 10 million cancer survivors in this country alone, and millions more are suffering today. And then you expand that around the world, and then you perhaps me as an athlete, you give them something to pay attention to and to tie into, and that then you have this community that gets behind you, and things pick up. And
can you watch your right? Explain that.
21 million yellow bands.
For what reason?
That's 21 million of the 41. I mean, for what reason? Well, for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, it's a damn good thing. There's a message, there's hope and inspiration behind the band, behind the color, behind the simplicity of it. Here, oh, you were diagnosed yesterday. Here, take this. Don't take it off. Anytime you worry, anytime you stress, anytime you think it's not going to be okay, look at your wrist. It's simple. And people are like, okay, everybody can do that. And the color they relate to because they watch the tour, they see the jersey, they know that means that's the best guy, that's the guy that wins, that's the guy that doesn't fail. And that's what the illness is about. It's about winning, it's about not failing, it's about living, it's about surviving. So that's the main part of it. But also we benefited because in America it became a fad, it became a trend, and next thing you know, musicians are wearing it, and actors are wearing it, and John Kerry's wearing it. I mean, it's everywhere you look. You know, on all these crazy magazines that you say you don't read, that you know, with the actors and all.
Still stand up.
Yeah. Well, you see them there, so it's everywhere.
Zijn levensverhaal is in vele talen verschenen. Hij is rijk en heeft invloed. Hij heeft een nieuwe grote sponsor gevonden. En hij leeft het leven van een overal ter wereld erkende grootheid die succes met hoofdletters mag schrijven. Zijn privéleven lijkt geheel in orde en dus resteert de vraag...
And you're happy?
I am very happy.
There was a little reluctance?
No. I mean, I'm happier than I've ever been. Put it that way.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're one of the nicest assholes in the world.
Man, how does that work?
But I still think that you are one of the
That's like saying you're one of the meanest sweethearts I've ever known. Or you just turn it around, but yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Natuurlijk, niet meer omkijken, ze rijden daar vlak voor hun. Basso zit hier nu nog om te kijken, toch?
Sanchez vorig jaar 6e.
Leukemans die een beetje problemen heeft met Sanchez, die nog een beetje gaat dringen. Het is niet moment.
Aanval Vinokourov. Aanval Vinokourov.
Ja.
Dat is de enige manier om Rebellin eronder te krijgen. En nu moet Bogert hopen dat Vinokourov teruggegrepen wordt door Rebellin. Dan is het aan hem.
Hij gaat hem zelf terughalen.
Voilà, hij gaat. En daar heeft Rebellin natuurlijk ook op gewacht.
Dat is Bogert, hè. We zagen er net Vinokourov en Rebellin al een beetje naar elkaar kijken en babbelen. Dus ja, je moet natuurlijk wel zorgen dat hij mee is. Hè.
Vinokourov, vorig jaar winnaar van de Amsterdam Gold Race. U weet dat hij toen bijna helemaal kapot ging. Nee, hij ging zelfs helemaal stuk, maar toch won hij. Dus Bogert moet nu alles uit de kas halen om die Vinokourov weer terug te halen. In zijn werkende stijl, maar die is zo verdomd efficiënt, hè.
Een jaar en een week geleden. Amsterdam Gold Race.
En nu misschien Luik Bastenaken, maar is er nog niet, hè.
Nee.
Je moet verdomme karakter hebben, nog een kilometer. En daar is Bogert.
En nu stoppen. Rebellin laten terugkomen.
Nu de factor Rebellin.
Ah, is erbij. Oei. Hij is niet weg.
En toch krijg je nog altijd een droomfinale, hè, zeg ik nu zelf.
Ja.
Het wordt weer om duimen en vingers van af te likken. En wie heeft er nu een cartouche verschoten? Vinokourov en Bogert. Dekker is teruggekomen.
Sterk.
Dekker. Basso rijdt hier van weg. Basso rijdt er van weg. Maar ik heb niet de indruk dat hij nog een bedreiging gaan vormen voor de top 3. 14 seconden. Dat in de laatste kilometer. Dekker met een versnelling. Die gaat de Basso halen. Vinokourov, tweede poging. En Bogert daar weer naartoe. En op die manier Rebellin in een zetel.
Ja, het is niet anders. Het is niet anders. Ze kennen zijn snelheid. Ze weten hoe snel hij is natuurlijk. Hij probeert er maar af te rijden. Hè.
Het heilig paterke van San Bonifacio. Hij gaat een fantastisch drieluik tegemoet. Hij rijdt zo gemakkelijk.
En Björn Leukemans gaat zich binnen de 7 eerste rijden van Luik-Bastenaken-Luik.
Op de tanden bijten Björn Leukemans. Dat zou een fantastische zaak zijn. Na alle ellende, alle blessurelast, ziekte. Want hier valt het ook nog een klein beetje stil.
Ja.
Pas op, hè. Pas op.
Bogert gaat zelf nog eens demareren, denk ik.
Hij kan niet wachten. Hij kan niet wachten. En wat doet Vinokourov? Die blijft zitten.
Nu gaat Rebellin wel reageren natuurlijk.
We zijn op 500 meter van de streep. Op een goede 250 meter van de laatste bocht.
Ja.
Bogert kan nu niet meer wachten. Maar hij heeft het weer zitten, hè.
Ja, hij gaat er naartoe rijden en Vinokourov plooit.
Het is een verschrikking, het is een verschrikking.
Hij gaat nog 100 meters in zijn wiel kruipen.
Er is er altijd eentje bij die te sterk is. Altijd eentje. En net als vorige week luistert hij weer naar de naam Rebellin. En hij gaat hem afmaken.
Oei, zegt hij. Oh, dat beeld.
Kijk naar die blik.
250 meter.
Hij gaat hem verscheuren.
250 meter, 200 meters.
Bogert mag ons verrassen. Hij mag ons verrassen. Het wezen hem gegund. Maar daar komt Rebellin. En dan is daar niks aan te doen. Kijk naar die power. Kijk naar die machtsuitstraling. De goldrace. De Waalse pijl. En hier Luik-Bastenaken-Luik. Het is onuitgegeven. 1 Rebellin. 2 Bogert. 3 Vinokourov. En dan uitkijken voor de 4e plaats. Daar komt Sanchez. En dan is het vechten knallen voor de 5e plaats. En het is Dekker die het haalt voor Kessler, Basso, Scarponi, Hamilton. We zien ook Vicioso, Wezenman, Echevarria.
En helemaal achteraan Bettini.
Van Petegem haalt, denk je, de top 20 net niet. En heb jij Leukemans nog gezien?
Nee, maar die moet er dan toch ergens nog wel bij zitten, denk ik. Of komt nu over de meet. Leukemans komt nu over de meet.
Rebellin voor Bogert, Vinokourov, Sanchez, Dekker, Kessler, Basso en Scarponi. Dat is in alle vlucht meegenomen hier op de streep, dames en heren. Dat kan misschien nog net andersom zijn. Maar daar gaan we nog even op wachten.
Ja, en Rebellin, denk ik, nieuwe leider in de wereldbeker. Hè? 200 punten.
Ja, kan niet anders, hè?
Nee.
Hij had er 100.
Alsjeblieft.
Hij doet er een klad van 100 bovenop. Dan is hij niet alleen wereldbekerleider, maar dan is hij ook nog kanshebber op de winst van de wereldbeker. Farizin komt hier over de streep. Kan voor Gero Steiner dus niet op. Hondo vandaag winst in Niedersachsen. En dan nog eens hier Rebellin hier. En hier het groepje met Gilbert dat binnenkomt. En Renaat heeft leuk, want ze...
En dan nu het sprookje van mijn leven. Zeg vrouw, ik wil een wesp in mijn hasp. Ik ben in nood, geef mij een brood. Een gesneden als het kan, want daar vlieg ik rapper van. En geen gezever, doe mij ook maar een kever. Ik wil er 3 in mijn knie. En voor de start graag Schotse whisky. Giet er ook maar in mijn pul, want ik zweer het u, dan zult u mij zien gaan vol euforie. Krijg ik die veiligheid niet nodig, jong, van zijn leven niet. Deze was flauwekul, nu komt mijn ware verhaal. Het verhaal van vallen en opstaan. Niet opgeven en doorgaan en van mijn laatste grote droom. Ik zei, zeg vrouw, ik wil kabeljauw. Nog 1 keer steel ik de show. Ja, nog een dikke vis, anders zit het hier goed mis. Ik moet hier winnen, al ben ik al lang binnen. Parijs-Roubaix, voor de Roger. Doe hem daar een plezierke mee. 1 keer nog brult de leeuw, 1 keer nog wint Museeuw. En mijn supporters brullen mee. Johan, 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 Johan.
Hef de hand op, even de priem.
Johan, 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 Johan. 3 keer de Ronde van Vlaanderen. 3 keer Parijs-Roubaix. 2 keer Zurich. Hamburg, de Amstel Gold Race, Parijs-Tours. Bijna uit Bastenakeluik, maar Zaza en Jules gingen aan de motto hangen. Gelijk Tom Boon een paar weken geleden. Wereldkampioen was ik, 2 keer Belgisch kampioen, 2 keer de wereldbeker gewonnen, de gele trui in de Tour, de groene trui in de Tour en 2 ritten. Zeg vrouw, we gaan een vijver moeten leggen in onze hof voor al die fashion. Ik zag soms af, gelijk een beest. Het was niet alle dagen feest. Maar met Patrick aan mijn zij en mijn vrienden dicht bij mij bleef ik maar gaan. De vijand moest eraan. Was morgens vroeg, was ik al op. Met mijn bandana op mijn kop. Kliefde ik door weer en wind. Enthousiast gelijk een kind doorheen mijn Vlaanderen naar de top. Vlaanderen, ik kom terug. Het is genoeg, het was niets te vroeg. Want aan de top, daar krijg je knop. Stoppen wou ik al eens doen, maar ik werd wereldkampioen. Ik lachte groen, adieu vervroegd pensioen. Ik heb geen spijt van al die tijd. Al was ik ooit mijn been haast kwijt. Toch kom ik nog kerngezond in mijn bleke blote kont in sportweekend. Ben zo content.